Hello everybody, how are you all doing? Welcome back to Man City Unplugged, your very own Man City fan channel. Uh, it was a complete disaster yesterday. It was कल किसी ने सोचा भी नहीं था कि ऐसा होगा. 3-0 up और 15 मिनट बचे थे and that's all. And we were absolutely cruising. It was a car on a highway cruising at 150 200 kilometers per hour. And then what happens? क्या होता है ऐसे लगता है कि कार का टायर अचानक पंचर हो जाता है और 200 किलोमीटर पर आवर पे जब पंचर होता है तो क्या होता है दैट्स इट कोई बच भी नहीं सकता उस कार में दैट्स हाउ द परफॉर्मेंस साउंडेड यस्टरडे द परफॉर्मेंस यस्टरडे वाज ब्रूटल it was not because we lost you can lose that can happen it's a game of football after all it's sport after all what we have done is unprecedented 6 titles in 7 seasons. I can accept not winning the title this season. I can accept not winning the title next season. उसके बाद अगले साल भी उसके बाद अगले साल भी नहीं जीते ठीक है But what I cannot accept is तुम compete ही मत करो तुम अपना 100% मत दो तुम reckless हो जाओ वो unacceptable है What we want is the team going for it year on year giving it their 100%. If we don't win, we don't win. If we win. वो attitude हमेशा रहा है SD का since the days of Roberto Mancini and then Pellegrini and under Pep and all. We have faced us a bunch of we have faced our bunch of setbacks. We have gone through tough situations. और हम वो सबसे उबर के आए and it just seems that this group of players have just forgotten how much we have worked hard in the past to be here. मैं याद करता वो मोनाको गेम का Pep Guardiola का पहला season against Monaco. You were 5-3 up going into the second leg. 2-goal lead going into the second leg. Everyone expects that you go through to the next round. What happens? Monaco ने एक गोल मारा and give up कर दिए. Weak mentality. उसके बाद मैंने देखा नॉट इन द प्रीमियर लीग मैं सिर्फ चैंपियंस लीग की बात कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि मेंटालिटी अलग होती है प्रीमियर लीग पे चैंपियंस लीग पे क्योंकि चैंपियंस लीग नॉकआउट कंपटीशन होता है ठीक है कल नॉकआउट नहीं था पर जानते हो इट्स जस्ट 90 मिनट्स है अगेंस्ट अ टीम and whatever you do in that 90 minutes can actually decide your course in the competition yesterday जरूरी था फाइनोर्ड के साथ पॉइंट्स नहीं नहीं ड्रॉप करे हम because the tables just looking tough I think अब टॉप 8 में क्वालिफाई करने के लिए आपको पीएसजी अवे यूवेंटस अवे क्लब ब्रूज एट होम ये 3 मैच जीतना पड़ेगा ठीक है क्लब ब्रूज एट होम भी अब मुश्किल लग रहा है looking at what happened against Feyenoord so just think it was more about it was ठीक है 3-0 3-3 होता है that's fine whoever you are but it's the way in which we capitulated ऐसा नहीं कि फाइनोर्ड ने 1-2 फुटबॉल खेला फाइनोर्ड ने through excellent passing they just opened everything up ऐसा नहीं है ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं था it was almost like we gave them the goals हम 26 शॉट 25 शॉट लेते हैं 25 shots and Feyenoord have 4 shots first half Feyenoord have no shots on goal second half I think Feyenoord have 3 shots on goal I think 3 goals that is unacceptable for me अगर आप मेहनत करते हो गोल स्कोर करने के लिए तो दूसरे टीम को तोहफा क्यों बांटते हैं यहाँ क्रिसमस की दुकान थोड़ी खोल रखी है हमने हम हम यहाँ कोई पीडीएस पब्लिक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सिस्टम कोई थोड़ी खोल रखे है कि फ्री में रेशन दाल चावल बांटोगे को ऐसा नहीं है दैट्स द डिसअपॉइंटिंग थिंग 25 शॉट 25 शॉट्स टू 3 शॉट्स ऐसा कैसे हो रहा है ठीक है ग्वार्डियोल को आप सिंगल आउट कर सकते हो ठीक है आप एडिसन को सिंगल आउट कर सकते हो बट But I think this is not on a single person. I'm sorry. This is the mentality of the whole team. Bleed Barca is here. It says time for City fans to go back to their respective clubs. Actually, that will be good if they go back. Whoever wants to go back can actually go back. Bleed Barca. अच्छा है. अच्छा है. Because it's actually more interesting and more, and the feelings more wonderful जब आप एक टीम को उसके डाउन टाइम पे सपोर्ट करते हो, because then you exactly know who you are and who the team is. I mean, Monaco away, Spurs away, 4-4 वो अगर Sterling का last minute offside goal, losing against Leon. We have seen it. We have seen everything at this club. I mean, going back to the 90s, and older fans would have seen City coming from tier 2, tier 3, but I haven't seen it, so I'll not talk about that stuff. But ये club के fans ने तो बहुत देखा है. Even in the last decade and a half, Monaco के साथ 5-3 up there, you lose that game. Leon के साथ you lose at home, I think 1-0 and get booted out of the Champions League. Real Madrid के साथ आप 2-0 up there. 3 minutes to go, you concede two goals and you catapult and you capitulate. तो हमने सेटबैक्स देखे और जैसे मैंने बोला, आई थिंक winning feels fantastic, but I think it feels much more enjoyable from the inside when you support a team during the bad times. और अभी बैड टाइम है, सिटी का समय खराब है. कल पूरे मैच में ड्यूरिंग द वॉच अलॉन्ग मैं बोल रहा था समय खराब है. अदरवाइज 3-0 अप होने थे पहले 10-15 मिनट में. सिटी वर प्लेइंग सो वेल. समय खराब है बस. सेकेंड गोल एडिसन का, आई मीन नियर पोस्ट, 99.99% वो बॉल अंदर नहीं जाता. कैसे गया अंदर? इट हिट्स द बार, inside of the bar, hit Edison's back, goes in. Jack Grealish shoots on the other end, hits the inside of the bar, Feynoord's keeper goes out. जब आपका समय खराब होता है ना, आई मीन अपन कुछ भी मारता है शॉट, गोल के अंदर चला जाता है. इट्स जस्ट बैड टाइम एंड वी नीड टू बी वेरी पेशेंट हियर. I mean, now you can question a lot of the club's decisions. क्यों Rodrigo backup sign नहीं किया, this and that, but 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 I think we need to look at the overall picture. कल के defeat का क्या reason था? I mean, what was the reason for yesterday's defeat? Main reason क्या था? Mentality. I mean, the football was champagne football. The football was very very good. 75 मिनट्स तक, लास्ट 15 मिनट्स पे ऐसा क्या हो गया कि वी हैड टू गिव शिप 3 गोल्स. भगवान ने आके खेला है क्या वो लास्ट 15 मिनट? नहीं तो मेसी और रोनाल्डो आउट ऑफ रिटर्न, हैव दे कम एंड प्लेड 15 मिनट्स? नहीं. आई थिंक whatever has happened till now, it is on to one side. The loss against Brighton, against Sporting, against Tottenham in this league, and against Tottenham away in the Carabao Cup, वो सब एक तरफा. I mean, keep all of them on one side, because वो सब में क्या क्या हुआ कि there were certain technical reasons why we lost those. Sporting ka, we should have been 3-4 nil up in the first half itself. We didn't take our chances. So technically, that was the reason we didn't take our chances. Footballing reasons they. Against Spurs, we didn't take our chances. We should have been 3-0 up in the first 10-15 minutes. Easily. Against Brighton, it's almost like a midfield didn't exist. Spurs का Carabao Cup छोड़ो, I think that was one of the best performances of the lot in the last 4-5 games. But yesterday, कल तो बहुत different हुआ कुछ. That is why I won't say worried, but it's unique. मैंने वो पेप की पहले और दूसरे सीजन, आई थिंक 2019 के बाद मैंने कल क्या हुआ वो नहीं देखा सिटी में. After 2019, this is the first time I'm seeing. Okay, keeping the Real Madrid one aside, Real Madrid Bernabeu aside, that can happen to anyone and everyone. When 2019, 2018 के बाद जब हम, I think it was against Leon, नॉकआउट हो गए थे 1-0 और 2-1 और whatever चैंपियंस लीग मैंने वो नहीं देखा मेंटल कोलैप्स you're 3-0 up the opponent scores a goal 3-1 there will be moments in football when the opponent scores a goal and then the opponent and then the momentum shifts towards him for 2 minutes 3 minutes 5 minutes whatever आपको किल करना है वो मोमेंटम को so when Feyenoord scored that first goal what did we do हमने कुछ नहीं किया हम फाइनल गेम को बनाना चाहते थे एंड टू एंड बास्केटबॉल गेम और हमने बास्केटबॉल गेम खेलने दिया उन्हें that is where I think we lost it. The blame can be on Guardiola, the blame can be on anyone else, but the reason why we lost it was we allowed the game to become a basketball game. जब आप वो करते हो, I mean, you're inevitable to concede goals. गेम का टेम्पो जो है ना वो हमें कंट्रोल करना है हमें डिक्टेट करना है और रॉड्री एक टेम्पो मेकर है दैट इज द रीजन आई मीन कुछ से डिफेंसिव साइड ऑफेंसिव साइड ऑफ रॉड्री आई डू एग्री बट वो टेम्पो जो कंट्रोल करते हैं ना हमारे पास ऐसे प्लेयर्स थे लाइक डेविड सिल्वा एक टेम्पो मेकर था रॉड्री इज अ टेम्पो मेकर फोर्डन इज नॉट अ टेम्पो मेकर बर्नार्डो गुंडोगन is a tempo maker but he got substituted I'm sorry Foden is not one KDB is not one McAtee is not one so you need someone to take the ball, ping some passes backward, sideways, keep possession and keep it rolling forward. I think we missed that kind of a player yesterday. We missed a player with that pausa kind of a thing yesterday. वो एक बड़ा reason था why we actually did not do well. But anyways, let us look at the player ratings for yesterday. First, I'll go with Edison. I think I'll put Edison. I'll put Edison below average. मैं पिस्पूर तो नहीं बोलूंगा क्योंकि आई थिंक तीसरा गोल के लिए उसका फॉल्ट था बिकॉज ही केम रेसिंग फॉरवर्ड एंड स्टफ ही शुड हैव स्टेड देयर एंड ट्राइड टू डिफेंड द वन ऑन वन बट apart from that I think second goal he was unlucky Edison और पहला गोल में he had और पहला गोल में I don't think he had a chance of saving that probably. I mean, even in the first goal itself, I think Edison rushed out of the post and something like that. I think, but yeah, I think overall it was not a good game for Edison. Maybe in the second goal, Edison didn't do well, but pehla goal or तीसरा goal, Edison did have mistakes in him. So Edison का mistakes. I think maybe is it time to bring Stephen Ortega into the Champions League thing? I don't know. A lot of question marks over Edison there. Edison का contract खत्म हो रहा है. He's I think he'll leave the club in the summer. I think it's a cycle coming to an end. To be honest, we'll actually talk about it. Uh, we'll actually talk about it later. But दूसरा है Rico Lewis. I mean, Rico Lewis is an interesting one. I think लोग बोलते हैं third goal के लिए maybe Rico Lewis had to be strong in the header and stuff, but Rico Lewis का ना based on his personality, his size, the position he's playing in, whatever Pepe's asked him to do, he's done it. Rico Lewis did not make any blatant mistakes. Rico Lewis did not give away any unforced errors. So Rico Lewis ka I do not see any blame to be honest for Rico Lewis. I know third goal people will be telling Rico Lewis is doing better पर वो नहीं कर सकता उसका height उतना ही है. It's almost like you're asking Lisandro Martinez to compete with someone like an Erling Haaland or a Dan Burn in the air. It's not possible. So Rico Lewis for me, average है for me. Rico Lewis, I know people will think he's below average this and that, but Rico Lewis did everything. Build up. He took possession under pressure. उसने दो pivot form किए with Gundogan and he was very very good in terms of recycling the ball up and down the pitch. Rico Lewis excellent था. I mean tracking back as well. उसने one on ones, दो तीन one on ones अच्छे defend किए. I mean, Nicholas did whatever was asked of him. Bayaji says Edison piss poor. Bayaji, hello Bayaji, how are you doing? First of all, and मैंने एडरसन को पिस पोर पे इसलिए नहीं रखा बिकॉज आई थिंक देर आर प्लेयर्स हु आर वर्स देन एडरसन. So if I'm putting Edison below average, I think I think gutter class के players और हैं. So I thought they deserved a piss poor thing. क्योंकि एडिसन को उस सिचुएशन पे फंसाने के लिए they were responsible more. I think and also I think भाई जी आपका गोलकीपर पिस पोर हो सकता है जब वो एक अनफोर्स्ड एरर करता है जैसे Lorius, left the ball and against Bale in Liverpool's Champions League final and stuff. But I know for the third goal, Edison came out and he rushed out and everything. But मैं बोलूँगा I think, and at the end we'll adjust the ratings. And by the way, Bayaji, what was your reaction seeing 3-3 against Feynoord? I was like, my first reaction is sack them all, सबको sack करो. That was my first thing. I know that was emotional, but that was my first uh, reaction. I mean, Natanake interesting. Eh? Natanake for me, Natanake was average. Natanake was somewhere between average and great because Natanake जब substitute हुआ, after that all of this stupidity started. For me, Natanake athletic था in the first half. He sniffed out danger well. He was attacking wise he was good. I think दो एक दो header भी आए थे उसको. Natanake looked very composed. I mean उस defense में I think there is no leadership. Guardiola at least right now is not a leader. Rico is of course अभी leader नहीं है. Akanji is not a leader. Edison is not a leader. I think we have only two leaders in defense. Stones is not a leader. He didn't play. Ake and Ruben Diaz. जब ये दोनों में एक खेलता है, I think I've observed the defense is a little bit composed. जब दोनों ना खेलते हैं, Ake and Ruben Diaz, the defense just goes into dumps. There is no one arranging the line. There is no one, telling people what to do, whom to mark, and all of that stuff. So Nathan Ake for me average था. मुझे तो it's between weight and average because he did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong. So पहला पिसपुर slot जाता है the great king Manuel Akanji. पहला पिसपुर slot जाता है the great king Manuel Akanji. मुझे तो डॉटमंड वाला मैनुअल अकेंजी लगा. क्या कर रहा था भाई साहब, क्या कर रहा था वो. you're 3-0 up, you're 3-1 up, इतना हाईलाइन 85th मिनट में इतना हाईलाइन कौन खेलता है. I'll not blame Simpson Pusse here. अगर आप रिको लुइस, सिम्पसन पुसे, मैनुअल अकेंजी, ग्वार्डियोल ठीक है छोड़ दो, मैनुअल अकेंजी, ये तीन आपके डिफेंडर्स है. इट्स अपॉन द शोल्डर्स ऑफ मैनुअल अकेंजी टू गाइड देम. एंड अकेंजी इतना हाईलाइन खिला रहा था. Akanji was going so high. We know Akanji is a kind of defender who likes to jump onto the ball and stuff. और वो बूथ जो Akanji का है ना, to jump quickly onto the ball and get at the strikers. I think he encouraged everyone to play that high line. इतना high line कौन खेलता है? Ange भी surprise हो गया होगा उतना high line देख के. I mean, for the third goal, I think you have two strikers making a run of your highline. I mean, इतना highline कौन खेलता है यार? And we did not have anyone who could even keep the ball in the midfield. Manuel Akanji, organization in that scenario of Rake left. He had to take leadership of that back line. Pisporta, I mean, he made one or two errors, I think, leading up to the first or second goal. Reckless clearances. Edison को काफी बार under pressure डाला. One or two passes he gave it straight back to Feyenoord players. I mean, Akanji ka sara performance piss poor tha. I think if Pep as an option, he would have hooked off Manuel Akanji during half time and brought in another defender. Even in the first half, Akanji was poor. Akanji's mistakes were covered up by Nathanake, who was more proactive. There was an instance in the first half. मुझे पता नहीं था वो गेम की नैरेटिव बनेगी. Feyenoord plays a ball over the top. Manuel Akanji is caught high up the line. Nathanake senses the danger and Nathanake पहले ही head start लेता है और run मारता है पीछे and is able to catch up with the Feyenoord forward. और second half में जब Nathanake जाता है as a substitute, I think the Akanji को control करने के लिए कोई नहीं था वहाँ. Biases couldn't join the live last night but watched match in the morning and I thought this team is beyond repair now. भाई मैं सो नहीं पाया था कल. मैं सो नहीं पाया था कल. I mean it was honestly so bad. देखो 75th मिनट में my thought was ठीक है बहुत दिनों बाद आज सिटी का हाइलाइट्स देखूंगा अच्छा कमेंट्री के साथ पीएसजी का देखूंगा हाइलाइट्स एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट पीएसजी बायर्न एंड ऑल ऑफ सम मैचेस एंड देन आई स्लीप वेल. पर क्या होता है नेक्स्ट 15 मिनट सारा प्लान खराब कर दिया. नाउ आई डू नॉट वांट टू ब्लडी ओपन दैट सोनी लिवर व्हाटएवर एंड वॉच द हाइलाइट्स. आई डोंट वांट टू ओपन यूट्यूब एंड वॉच ऑल ऑफ दोस रिएक्शंस. इतना बुरा टाइम था कि कल एएफटीवी पे उनका मैच था ना. एएफटीवी पे वो वॉच अलोंग करते हैं ना. they were they were discussing city's capitulation from 3-0 to 3-3. They left the Sporting Arsenal match and they were discussing city's match. इतना 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 बुरा हाल हो गया. मैं इतिहाद स्टेडियम मैन. इतिहाद स्टेडियम पे कौन ऐसा कैपिचुलेट करता है. 6 साल पे रियल मैड्रिड पीको चुका नहीं पाए हमारे. कोई माइकल आल का हिम्मत नहीं हुआ था 6 साल में कोई आए यहाँ और इवन ड्रॉ भी करे. that's how fantastic we are here and ये हो गया. Baiju says Pep can't be blamed as he had to make changes to avoid injuries. This one's on the players. I mean, on the players, Baiju, on the players. Guardiola, Kanji, मैं भी defense का ratings डालूंगा and it's just like piss poor. Baiju says after 3 goals lead, keeping highline was idiotic and suicidal. But this is the same every game. I mean, आप highline रखो. Pressure on the ball कहाँ पर है. मुझे इस बात पे गुस्सा आ रहा था कि you're keeping a high line. The first basic principle of a high line is pressure on the ball. High pressure on the ball. Do not allow the midfielder or the defender to look up and give the pass. That is the basic principle, right? Because when you put pressure on the ball, the defender on the midfielder doesn't have time. He picks an erratic pass, you get the ball back, you continue to play. वो बेसिक प्रिंसिपल है सब लोग जानते हैं. प्रेशर ऑन द बॉल ही नहीं था. एब्सोल्युटली नो प्रेशर ऑन द बॉल. Baiji says having small squad means you have to keep playing out of form players no matter how bad they are on the pitch. I mean मुझे तो it's beyond words Baiji क्योंकि last 4 matches ठीक है आप हार गए. स्पोर्टिंग ब्राइटन स्पर्स and all of that आप हार गए. but the mentality was there. We were not taking our chances. यहाँ तो मुझे लग रहा है weak mentality. I mean, मैं City के बारे में ऐसे the last time I think I thought about City like that was against Monaco, was against Lyon basically when we capitulated 3-1 or something. 2018 that was our last defeat at the Etihad Stadium in the Champions League. Weak mentality. Monaco when we squandered a 5-3 lead and then against Lyon. वीक मेंटालिटी. उसके बाद मैंने कभी सिटी के बारे में ऐसा नहीं सोचा. वीक मेंटालिटी. यू विन गेम्स यू लूज गेम्स बट सिटीज मेंटालिटी हैज ऑलवेज बीन टॉप नॉच. मेंटालिटी नहीं है इन लोगों पे. आई मीन आप अपना गेम ऑफ फुटबॉल अपना चैंपियंस लीग लोअर स्किल्ड प्लेयर्स के साथ भी जीत सकते हो. जैसे मोरिनियो ने पोर्टो के साथ जीता. आई मीन दैट टीम वाज वेरी गुड बट again he won against teams like Juventus, United to win that Champions League, right? But उनका mentality was top notch players, but you cannot win shit with players having weak mentality. इसलिए Arsenal League नहीं जीत पाए 21 years. Weak mentality. That's why Liverpool took 24 years to win their first trophy, first Premier League. I'm sorry, weak mentality. Spurs इसलिए हमेशा कैपिचुलेट करती है. Weak mentality. I'm just afraid the mentality of this player could have taken a toss. That is my question. That is my concern. Bayaji says current personnel can't play more than 30 minutes with the same energy. Pep must adapt his formations and tactics else keep losing. ये एक बात अच्छा पॉइंट बोले आप भैया जी। आई मीन ये मुझे समझ में नहीं आता है। आप ब्राइटन के साथ 45 मिनट्स, इवन 55 मिनट्स बहुत अच्छा खेलते हो एंड देन कैपिचुलेटेड। स्पर्स के साथ ठीक है, स्पर्स के साथ छोड़ दो, दैट वाज आई मीन फिल्ड स्पोर्टिंग के साथ आप 45 50 मिनट्स अच्छा खेलते हो, कैपिचुलेशन। I mean, each of our losses in the last 4 5 games, आप half of the matches अच्छा खेलते हो and then capitulation. I mean that is something I've never Bournemouth के साथ भी last 20 minutes you play well, before that capitulation. That is what I fail to understand with this group of players. Baiji says no manager should be winless in 6 to 8 games at a club like City. दैट इज ट्रू भाई जी, दैट इज ट्रू, दैट इज ट्रू। हम उस पर बात करेंगे, हम उस पर बात करेंगे। We'll just get through with the ratings and then we'll talk specifically on that because that is a very good point that you have actually raised. The question I would ask is Pep Guardiola unsackable? What do you think, Bayaji? Is Pep Guardiola unsackable? I mean, next Mahashay Josko Guardiola, piss poor again. I mean, Akanji or Josko Guardiol पे सिर्फ इतना फर्क है कि Akanji is 30 years old now and Josko Guardiol is around 22 23. So Akanji is below piss poor. You cannot excuse the performance of Akanji. But Josko Guardiol का interesting है. The first 75 minutes before the first goal went in, Josko Guardiol was, I think Josko Guardiol was awesome. He was in the top tier of our ratings, literally. इतना अच्छा था Josko Guardiol. Josko Guardiol was bloody fantastic. His attacking runs, the way he was aggressively box को attack कर रहा था, his defending was good, everything was good. His one on ones, he was proactive in the box. उसने एक दो अच्छा chances twat भी किए first half में. Josko Guardiol was very good in the first, I mean till 75 minutes. पर पता नहीं क्या हो गया Josko Guardiol को in the last 15 minutes. He just lost his head. I mean, Josko Guardiola's match can be classified as first 75 minutes, last 15 minutes. पता नहीं क्या हो गया है Josko Guardiola को. I cannot say that Josko Guardiola has been. I mean, कुछ performances ऐसे होते हैं कि आप बोलते हैं piss poor throughout, form में नहीं है. पर Josko Guardiola का अलग ही situation है. वो more than half of the match अच्छा खेलता है, फिर suddenly it's almost like something switches on in his head and and his and he suddenly goes frantic. वो first goal के लिए Josko Guardiola ने clearance, I think Josko Guardiola should not, that the clearance of Josko Guardiola back to Edison, I just don't understand. I think you should just kick it out. If you're unsure, you just kick it out. मिस किक था क्या था मुझे पता नहीं, but the only thing with Josko Guardiola is 22 23 years both young होता है डिफेंडर के लिए, और Josko Guardiola के पास पोजिशनल गेम का अंडरस्टैंडिंग है, उसका पोजिशनल सेंस एक्सेलेंट था. Is very good in one on ones as well. Okay, against Spurs he was not good, but generally very good one on ones. Can travel with the ball, very good dribbling skills. He attack, makes excellent runs through the box. I mean, सब take है Josko Guardiola. I think with Josko Guardiola the problem is a little bit, maturity and experience. I think वो time के साथ खेलेगा. I think time के साथ सीखेगा. Bayaji said at current form he should be sacked, but has enough in the bank. That is the thing, Bayaji. That is the thing. I think अगर पेप गुआर्डियोला का आप पूछो, आई मीन पेप गुआर्डियोला के बारे में आप सोचोगे, इज पेप गुआर्डियोला अनसैकेबल? मैं बोलूंगा फॉर द नेक्स्ट 3 years, इवन इफ ही डजंट विन एनीथिंग, आई थिंक इज नॉट ही इज अनसैकेबल. 3 years का टाइम है उसके पास. दैट इज हाउ मच ही हैज इन हिम इन द बैंक. क्योंकि 6 Premier League titles, I think that's the highest after Sir Alex Ferguson someone's won. 4 in a row, Champions League, 5 Carabao Cups. I think at least 3 साल के लिए, even if Pep does not win anything and he makes City finish out of top 4, he's still unsackable I think for 3 years, because उसने जो किया सक्सेस, क्लब्स को 3 4 डिकेड्स लग जाते हैं इतना प्रीमियर लीग ट्रॉफीज जीतने पे. आर्सेनल ने लास्ट 3 डेकेड में कितने प्रीमियर लीग ट्रॉफीज जीते? from 2000 to okay last 2.5 decades, 2000 to 2025. I think hardly 2 3 Premier League trophies. Chelsea how many? I think four 5. So Liverpool two. I think one Premier League trophy. तो I actually think जितना क्लब्स को डिकेड्स लग जाता है, पेप उनको एक दो आई मीन पेप ने 6 ट्रॉफीज जिता लिए and clubs generally take 2 3 decades to win those. That's why he has enough in the bank, if I'm honest. But just is, to be honest, I'm not impressed with Josko's defensive game since he's joined the club. Shifted to centre back and signed two proper fullbacks at both wings. I think uska defensive side, I actually think ठीक था. Even in yesterday's match, it was good, but it's not fantastic क्योंकि हमने वर्ल्ड कप में लाइप्जिग के साथ हम योस्को ग्वार्डियोल को वन ऑन वन, I think except Messi, I think उसने सबको I mean he actually defended very well. No one could dribble past him. उसने one on one सबसे अच्छा defend किया in the entire World Cup and stuff. Except Messi, I think Messi was the only one who beat him. But I think अगर आप योस्को ग्वार्डियोल को center back पे खिलाते हो, I think you take out certain very good qualities out of Josko Guardiol. जैसे Josko Guardiol is an excellent dribbler of the ball. Josko Guardiol, I mean Josko Guardiol का एक यूनिक नेचर है कि वो बॉक्स को राइट टाइम पे अटैक करता है. Like Gundogan makes those late runs into the box, right? Josko Guardiol has the ability to make those late runs. And is so good on the ball. His first touch and everything is so good that he can play 1-2s with Jack Grealish or whoever plays on that wing. I mean, आप उसको center back पे खिलाते हो. I think to take out all these qualities. So I actually think Josko Guardiol और डिफेंसिव गेम मैं एक बड़ा बिलीवर हूँ कि डिफेंसिव गेम आपका मैच्योरिटी के साथ इंप्रूव होता है. क्योंकि आप कितना भी सीख लो ऑन द कोचिंग फील्ड एंड स्टफ, कुछ ऐसे डिसीजंस करने होते हैं कि यू ओनली गेट इट विथ मैच्योरिटी. लाइक यू आर अप अगेंस्ट अ विंगर लाइक रोड्रिगो फॉर एग्जांपल ऑन दैट फ्लैंक, or like even a Salah which will be up against on Sunday. So what do you do against that winger? Will he go on the outside? Will he go on the inside? उसका body positioning क्या है? ये सब I mean maturity के साथ आते हैं I think. So I think the defensive side of I'm not that worried about the defensive side of Josko Guardiola. What I'm more worried about is his mentality. क्योंकि पेप हमेशा बोलता है the hallmark of a great player is आप मिस्टेक करते हो and still you have the courage to go and try that again. और योस्को ग्वार्डियोल मिस्टेक करता है and योस्को ग्वार्डियोल is done, उसका गेम डन हो जाता है. he is weak, he is fragile, वो enthusiasm नहीं दिखता है, वो ज्यादा फील होता है that I've done a mistake and stuff. The mentality is the problem of Josko Guardiol. I mean for Josko Guardiol it's I mean that is a bit of a concerning thing. ऑलमोस्ट ऐसा है कि सीमिंग पिच है, पर्थ पे आप फॉर एग्जांपल ग्रीन टॉप पे खेल रहे हो, यू आर बीटन वंस, तो आप उसी बॉल को सोचने लगोगे व्हाई आई वाज बीटन. अब तो आउट ही हो जाओगे ना. यू हैव टू गेट आउट ऑफ दैट एंड यू हैव टू बी रेडी टू फेस द नेक्स्ट बॉल. योस्को ग्वार्डियोल ना मुझे लगता है स्टक हो जाता है वो एक सिचुएशन में और रिवाइंड करता है. सो आई थिंक उसका मेंटालिटी issues thoda hai. It's not about attitude and stuff, it's about unstable, being unstable. Pep ne kal press conference mein ek word use kiya, after the first goal we were mentally unstable. He could not handle the pressure क्योंकि momentum तो उनको shift हो गया. That is what is important in the Champions League. When आप जब goal खाते हो, how do you handle that mentality? योस्को कल वही प्रॉब्लम था योस्को ग्वार्डियोल के साथ. Bayeji says refreshing the squad every other season is the key. Ferguson was never afraid to sell his best players. We held on to our legends, onto some of our legends for too long. That is perfectly right, Bayeji. Kyle Walker, I mean क्योंकि decline है ना, कैसे आ जाता है we just do not know. For example, Gundogan को ही देखो. Hansi Flick maybe predicted Gundogan's decline and that's why he refused to offer him chances. Kyle Walker का Pep ने predict नहीं कर पाया. Pep really thought he could go on for another season. तो आप प्लेयर का डिक्लाइन प्रिडिक्ट नहीं कर सकते and the worst thing is it just comes punching at you at half of in the middle of the season. वही हुआ काइल वॉकर के साथ भी. So I think that was a mistake. काइल वॉकर, बर्नार्डो सिल्वा का ऑनेस्टली हैंड्स रेज करो, हम में से कितने लोग बर्नार्डो सिल्वा को डिक्लाइन होते देखे हैं? यस इज अराउंड 30-31 now बर्नार्डो सिल्वा, पर हम में से कितने लोग बर्नार्डो सिल्वा को डिक्लाइन होते हुए देखे हैं? Nobody, right? No, none of us. Even Kyle Walker as well, I would say. No one saw the sharp decline in Kyle Walker. No one saw it. पर बोर्ड का भी ये है कि उन्होंने साइन नहीं किया, आई मीन रॉड्री का रिप्लेसमेंट को एंड ऑल ऑफ दोस थिंग्स. For me, next is Cameron Simpson Posey. I mean, मैं उसे पिस पोर तो नहीं बोलूंगा, मैं उसे बिलो एवरेज बोलूंगा, क्योंकि वो सारे डिफेंस में, एंड आई एम रेटिंग हिम बिकॉज ही एग्जैक्टली केम ऑन 75th minute and he played till the end, so he was part of the drama that happened. और पूरे बैकलाइन में लुइस गार्डियोला, केंजी, कैमरॉन सिम्पसन पोसे was the most stable player, was the most emotionally stable player. वो बॉल ले रहा था और रिसाइकल कर रहा था, वो बॉल ले रहा था और and he was trying to play one twos, he was trying to control the tempo of the game. He was, I mean, 19 years of age and he was the only one, keeping his head. Interesting what Pep Guardiola said about Cameron Simpson Posey after the game as well in the post-match press conference. Pep ने बोला कि he he is very stable in these kind of situations. I think मैं इसको देख रहा हूँ हमारे फ्यूचर में कैमरॉन सैमसन को से. I think Pep giving him so many chances. Injuries are forcing him, but but still, I mean, मैं उसको देख रहा हूँ. He's just, his attitude and his handling of the situations is very very good. Matthews Nunez. What do you think about Matthews Nunez, Bayaji? For me, Matthews Nunes was again with an average to great. I mean, वो सारे midfield पे he was the only one who was having legs. Excellent assist for Erling Haaland. He made those runs forward. He saw that we were not outrun in the midfield. He offered that well-needed physicality to the midfield. I mean, Matthews Nunes was excellent for me. I mean, he was between great and average for me. Maybe or thoda he could have just taken the game by the scruff of the neck when we were struggling in the 80th minute and stuff. But Matheus Nunes was one of the shining lights. I think he starts against Liverpool. Next up is Phil Foden. For me again, Phil Foden below average. मैं उसको पे स्कोर पे नहीं डाल रहा हूँ क्योंकि Phil Foden got into some very dangerous positions. Phil Foden ने, I mean, the goal is not happening for him. That is the biggest thing. But on the turn, he took the ball. He was very good. He was controlling the tempo of the game. Yeah, my this is Nunes average. Nunes for me was one of the bright shining lights. लिवरपूल के साथ at Anfield, Nunez को start करना ही चाहिए. I think if Nunez doesn't start, the game's gone. The game's gone if Nunez doesn't start, to be honest. So Phil Foden for me, he again lacked a bit of game awareness again. Okay, Foden was substituted before 75th minute. उसका कोई role नहीं था drama पे. But again, I think Foden could have taken the ball, could have paused a bit, looked up and could have made better passes for me. हमारा गेम ना प्रॉब्लम यही है, जब आप गुंडोगन, फोर्डन और in a midfield three, the football is always at 100 miles an hour. None of those three are interested in taking a pause. वो pausa लेने वाला player नहीं है. And that is why Pep likes to play Bernardo Silva here. पर Bernardo Silva तो हमेशा pause ही करता रहता है, and he does not do anything else, to be honest. I mean, next Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne is interesting for me. Kevin De Bruyne again. I think Kevin De Bruyne looked improved for me. I'll put him in below average because Kevin De Bruyne showed the hunger, he showed the fight, and he was much better in terms of his passing and crossing and stuff when compared to the last few games. De Bruyne though improved. I mean, reports are that De Bruyne is feeling pain in his you know pain in his leg when he's kicking the ball. So in the previous training sessions as well. So I mean, De Bruyne, I think Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne, Walker, like Bayaji said, all of these players, Gundogan. I think we Ederson also maybe. I think we need. It's time we refresh all of these players or refresh. इसलिए भी नहीं करते like बायाजी mentioned a wonderful thing about Alex Ferguson. देखो refresh इसलिए नहीं करते क्योंकि एक प्लेयर डिक्लाइन हो रहा है पर refresh इसलिए भी करते हैं क्योंकि वो हंगर वो भूख ना मर जाए that what I feel with this team is that hunger's died down. Why is that hunger died down? Because you look at the starting 11 yesterday. You look at the starting 11, right from Haaland to your Akanji to your Rico Lewis to your maybe apart from Yasko Guardiola. You look at all of the other players, they've bloody won everything. They've done four in a row, they've done the treble, 4-5 Carabao Cups, they've done everything. जीतने के लिए क्या है? जीतने के लिए और क्या है उनके पास? तो आपको हंगर कैसे होगा? I mean that I think that is one of the reasons. You look at someone like a Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker's gone up against in the journey of the last 3-4 years. Kyle Walker's gone up against Vinicius Junior. He went up against Serge Gnabry, Leroy Sané, Kylian Mbappe, Sadio Mane. I mean, Kyle Walker battered सब ऑल ऑफ द टॉप विंगर्स इन द वर्ल्ड तो और क्या हंगर रहेगा काइल वॉकर को प्रूव करने के लिए अब काइल वॉकर को थोड़ा हंगर रहेगा कि मैं सेमिन्यो के आगे प्रूव करूं मैं एडमा ट्रायोरे के आगे प्रूव करूं so the hunger is not there. Edison, what is the incentive? What is the hunger? This lad Edison has bloody won six Premier Leagues, one Champions League, 4-5 Carabao Cups, two FA Cups, Community Shield, Club World Cup. He's won the goal. He's won Golden Gloves. He's won Best Goalkeeper of the Year awards. अब क्या रहा बचा क्या है अब खेलने के लिए बचा क्या है that is what is the main issue with these players now that I actually feel. I know it's the end of a cycle, but then you need to constantly refresh to keep the hunger going as well, which we have not done. It's not waiting for a player to decline or you don't love the player. It's about refreshing the squad so that the competitive spirit is always there. You're not just too comfortable. It's almost like मुझे एक एग्जाम में 100% आया मैं दूसरी बार लिखा फिर भी 100% आया तीसरी बार 100% आया चौथी बार 100% आया अब पांचवी बार थोड़ी इंटरेस्ट होगा मुझे वो एग्जाम लिखने के लिए पहले चार बार मुझे 100% आ गया उसमें why will I even bother to take such an exam है छोड़ दो यार कुछ और करेंगे अब I think that is one of the reasons as well. Or agar Rodri hota, maybe the problems would be the same. Or maybe it would pepper over the cracks, we just don't know. But maybe the problems would have been the same. You just can never tell because you must understand even Rodri has won everything, including the Ballon d'Or. Bande ne after 3 decades, he has become the first midfielder in the world to win a Ballon d'Or. After Matthew Lauteras, I think 1990 German player. तो अब रहा क्या है एक एक प्लेयर को अचीव करने के लिए that is a big question for me. I mean Ilkay Gundogan. I mean मैं बोलूंगा Ilkay Gundogan also I'll place him in average. I mean Gundogan का interesting है क्योंकि against Brighton, Gundogan jata hai, and then we start conceding those chances. Against Feyenoord yesterday, Gundogan jata hai and a substitute, and then we start conceding chances. I think for me, Gundogan is offering that physicality. He himself is not much physical, but वो जितना भी उस वो कर सकता है, he is providing us with that presence, with that aura, with that physicality. Ball ले रहा है, his control in the tempo of the game, and the substitution of Gundogan for me changed the game. अगर अगर आप मुझे बोलो कि गुंडोगन 90 मिनट्स खेलता है, आई थिंक वी विन दैट गेम 4-0 5-0 एज वेल. आई थॉट वी विन इट 6-0, क्योंकि गुंडोगन ना, वो सारे मिडफील्ड में गुंडोगन अकेला एक ऐसा प्लेयर है जो टेम्पो कंट्रोल कर सकता है. बिकॉज व्हेन गुंडोगन वेंट, व्हाट वाज आवर मिडफील्ड? फोर्डन, डुब्राइना, मैथ्यूज न्यूनेस, maybe Bernardo Silva was coming in there. ये सारे लोगों में कौन है जो टेम्पो कंट्रोल कर सकता है? बर्नार्डो सिल्वा इज नॉट अ टेम्पो कंट्रोलर एज मच एज वी थिंक ही इज. सो तो सारे मिड, अगर आप मिडफील्ड इमेजिन करो, बर्नार्डो विंग पे खेल रहा था तो वो मिडफील्ड पे भी नहीं था. तो केविन डुब्राइना, मैथ्यूज न्यूनेस, आई एम सॉरी फोर्डन सब्स्टिट्यूट हो गया, जेम्स मैकेटी, आप ये तीन प्लेयर को एक मिडफील्ड पे खिलाओ. यू आर प्लेइंग थ्री अटैकिंग मिड्स. व्हाई द हेल इज पेप गार्डियोला प्लेइंग थ्री अटैकिंग मिड्स? Bayaji, you told that you cannot blame Pep Guardiola for this. Well, I think in this situation you can blame him. वो substitution, आप तीन attacking midfielders को कैसे खिला लिए on in the midfield at once? KDB, Nunez, and James McAtee. I think probably instead of James McAtee, Jacob Wright or Naito Nico O'Reilly was the best substitution there. अब Jacob Wright या Nico O'Reilly को खिलाओ, who are CDMs, to be honest. Jacob Wright was probably the best substitution there because he would take the ball, control the tempo of the game. कल जेम्स मैकेटी बॉल पिक करता है, पास. केविन डुब्राइना बॉल पिक करता है, पास. मैथ्यूस नूनेस ऑलवेज वांट्स टू रन फॉरवर्ड. टेम्पो कौन, आई मीन टेम्पो कौन कंट्रोल कर रहा है उधर? और आपका बैकलाइन देखो, आपका बैकलाइन है सिम्पसन, पोसे, एनरिको लुइस, मैनुअल अकांजी, जो आपको पता भी नहीं है फिट है या नहीं है. तो आई थिंक अ वेरी इनएक्सपीरियंस्ड बैकलाइन. अकांजी इज समटाइम्स शिट with three attacking midfielders. What the hell you think would have happened? Neither at least Jack Grealish ko late and put James McAtee on the left wing, which is played by the way on quite a few occasions. So at least Grealish ko late in the midfield. Grealish is someone who can control the tempo of the game. I mean, this thing, Pep also has to be blamed for this. The game changed after Ilkay Gundogan went. I have no question about it, to be honest. Bernardo Silva, again Bernardo Silva, मुझे again I think Bernardo Silva, मैं below average भी नहीं बोलूँगा, मैं actually Bernardo Silva का piss poor बोलूँगा. कल he was not able to beat his man as much. Bernardo Silva, he was losing his duels, he was giving away the ball cheaply. Bernardo Silva, I think Bernardo Silva जब से वो सिटी को आया है, I think Bernardo Silva in every match was a minimum 8 on 10. Bernardo Silva in every match was at least between average to great. You can at least guarantee an average performance from Bernardo Silva. पर आजकल तो below average और piss poor से ऊपर ही नहीं जा रहे हैं. तो I actually think Bernardo Silva is just having a very bad season. I think again, it's the question of hunger as well. Again, Bernardo Silva won so much. After all, he's a human being. He's not a cyborg or a robot, to be honest, right? Again, what will be the motivation for him to run around? I don't know. Jack Grealish, actually, I think Jack Grealish was having one of his better games, to be honest. मैं बोलूँगा Jack Grealish average था. I think Jack Grealish was having one of his better games because he tracked back well. Three Feyenoord players were around him, but still he combined well with Josko Guardiola. Or last May the shot was also very good. Jack Grealish for me is looked the most sharp player on the pitch yesterday. He had a spring in his step. वो बहुत cheerful था, उसका attitude बहुत अच्छा था Jack Grealish का. Jack Grealish was actually very good. और Did I forget someone? Nai, I think uh, James McAtee. I think James McAtee piss poor था. James McAtee was absolutely piss poor. ऐसा लग रहा है कि बंदा डरा हुआ था. I mean, I mean, his first touch let him down. He gave the ball away cheaply. I mean, James McAtee, it was not a good game again. ठीक है ज्यादा नहीं बोलूंगा उस पे. इज a youngster who is not guaranteed at a spot in the starting lineup. पर कल तो बहुत ही बेकार गेम था उसका, जेम्स मैकडी का. और अर्लिंग हालैंड, for me, Erling Haaland is the only one who I would say his his performance is great. I think मैं उसको वहां डाल रहा हूँ क्योंकि there was one instance in the 80th minute, I think, 3-1 up. Erling Haaland tracks back, wins a ball, and then he comes back, plays a 1-2 with Matthews Nunez, I think, and he almost finishes the move off. So Erling Haaland was everywhere yesterday. Erling Haaland, the goal उसने जो counter attack पे goal मारा, that was typical Erling Haaland. So the penalty, he looked confident again. He's tracking back well. His off the ball work rate is fantastic. So I actually think Erling Haaland was very very good yesterday. I mean, आप देखो, जब आपका सारा डिफेंस ऑलमोस्ट पिस पोर कैटेगरी में आता है, piss poor or below average, your goalkeeper and your two main defenders, when they come in the piss poor category and the below average category, you expect the result to be like this. You expect to squander those leads as well, 3-0, 3-3, and all of those leads as well. And actually, by the way, there's some we've done everything, and then there's some transfer news as well. I'll just switch on to it. There's actually some uh, there's actually some transfer news that is coming in. I think it seems that Graham Bell is reporting that Manchester City are looking to sign Sporting's Morton homeland, and he started for us in our 4-0, 4-1 or 5-1 defeat. He can play on the right of midfield. पर interesting ये है कि there's some news about Rodri's replacement, to be honest. The news is Graham Bailey reports again that City are looking at Brighton's Carlos Baleba and also Newcastle's Bruno Guimaraes. I mean, Bruno Guimaraes for me बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग वन है क्योंकि समर में we all thought we'll go and sign Bruno Guimaraes. I think अगर हम Bruno Guimaraes की signing कर लिए होते, I think it would have been so much better because Bruno Guimaraes can play CDM and then Bruno Guimaraes can also play in that DM role. So Bruno Guimaraes for me is a very interesting one, and that we are actually linked to him again. सो सो एनवायरमेंट बहुत ही मुश्किल हो रहा है आजकल ट्राइंग टू डू सिटीज प्लेयर रेटिंग्स बट एनफील्ड का आई थिंक आई डोंट नो व्हाट विल हैपन एट एनफील्ड टू बी ऑनेस्ट. कुछ भी हो सकता है. आवर सीजन, आई मीन, ओनली टू थिंग्स कैन हैपन एट एनफील्ड फॉर मी. आवर सीजन कैन स्टार्ट एट एनफील्ड और आवर सीजन कैन एंड एट एनफील्ड. अगर हम लिवरपूल को हरा दिए एट एनफील्ड, I know looking at this scenario, it seems not possible, but anything can happen. अगर हम लिवरपूल को 10 फील्ड हरा दिए, the title race, bring it on, everything's on. वो confidence जो हमें देगा ना, that would just be something else. अगर if we lose to Liverpool at Anfield, I think the season's done. The Premier League's done at least. We need to look at the domestic cup top four and then the Champions League. पर अगर हम लिवरपूल को से हारते हैं एनफील्ड में, I my next focus would be finishing my my next focus would be finishing above Arsenal, which means in the second place. I'm thinking Arsenal finish in third place, but my focus would be finishing in the second place in the Premier League, not top four, finishing in the second place. Just imagine our worst season And just imagine a worst season in the last 10 years was Arsenal's best season in the last 20 years, which is Arsenal's best season was finishing second, right, in the last 20 years. And our worst season is finishing second in the last 20 years. So I would not bother as much if अगर हम लिवरपूल से हार जाते हैं तो try to finish second, win that, I mean, try to go as far as possible in the Champions League because by then आपको reinforcements मिल जाएंगे, and try to win a domestic cup. Second, semi-finals of the Champions League. I mean, quarter-finals of the Champions League. Win FA Cup. By this is Rodri might not be same for some time when he comes back. So a like for like replacement is a must. I just think Bruno Gimenez is the one by Aji. Uh, Bruno Gimenez is the one, but they're looking at Ederson of Atlanta. The January transfer window will dip into it, and I'm thinking we'll probably buy two midfielders, not one in the January transfer window. And you're right, when you get an ACL, you just do not know. The player might come back and just play like it's normal, or the player might take some time to come back. We just do not know. By this is play for a draw at Anfield. Forget winning. I have a feeling, Bayaji, we will not play for a draw at Anfield. I think we will try to win, and in that process I think if we lose, I think we will accept it. I think क्योंकि I don't think a draw will help anyone. I think we'll have to take the jugular at Anfield, to be honest. क्योंकि 8 point to gap, I know title and stuff is difficult up bath karna looking at our form, but I just can't help it क्योंकि हम we have had such attitude, right, especially over the last 6 years 8 years ki we cannot give up till the end. We will fight till the end. So I'm thinking two games against Liverpool, Anfield, Etihad, Arsenal at the Emirates. If we can win these three games, then this season there's nothing over in this season. और हमारे कैरेक्टर के बारे में भी पता चल जाएगा. I think so. Anfield will be very interesting. Again, thanks a lot for joining me, Bayaji. And it's a tough time, uh, especially as a City fan. But then we will stick with the club through thick and thin. That is what makes supporting City so beautiful and exciting. Anyway, thanks a lot, Bayaji, again for joining me, and take care and see you.